to show you what do we do now. Okay, so what's the next step after GCFs? Okay, so if I look here, 4, 14, 6, and 21, is there GCF between all 4 parts? No, there's not. Okay, and if you didn't know that, I mean, you just pick 2 of them, 4 and 21. You're not getting anything to come out of 4 and 21. Okay, so there's no GCF. Okay, so step 1, still look for your GCF. Step 2 now is going to be to group. And when I say group, here's what I'm talking about. We're going to make it 2 smaller problems. Okay, so we're going to group the 4x squared and the 14x. And we're going to group the 6x and the 21. So since I couldn't do anything to all 4, it doesn't mean it's not factorable. It just means there was no GCF on the first step. Okay, so now we're going to break it into 2 small guys. And now we're going to look for GCF. So what would my GCF of 4x squared and 14x be, Quentin?
Would it be 2?
2, finish it off, 2x, right? I can divide them both by 2, x squared and x is your smallest, okay? So on the first grouping there, Quentin's correct when he says 2x. I'm going to put that on the outside. All right, so now if I take 4 divided by 2, what do we have there?
2.
Okay, but it won't be x
2x.
squared, right? Oh. It won't be x squared. There's 2 x's, 1 got pulled, so won't there be one left over? And again, if you need to still kind of write this 2x underneath, go ahead and do that, okay? I'm not going to keep showing that all through the whole chapter, okay? But if we need to keep doing that, you do that, okay? So x squared and x, there's 1x left over, okay? Now, what will I have for the second part?
7.
Good, plus 7. Okay, so 14 divided by 2 is 7, and the x's cancel. Okay? All right, now we're going to go to the second part, and we're going to pull a GCF from the second part. So, what would be a GCF on the second part, Ben?
3.
Good. Pull out a 3, and when you pull out a 3, what'd you end up with there?
2x plus 7.
Good. 2x. All right. There we go. Okay, 2x plus 7. All right, so now with that being said, what do you guys notice about this? Anybody notice anything?
Same thing.
Where's the same thing?
Inside the parentheses.
And it must be that way. All right, write a note right now. Okay, your parentheses have to match. Have to. Okay, so highlight, circle, do whatever you got to do there. But that 2x plus 7 and 2x plus 7 has to be the same. If it is not the same, then you've done something wrong. Okay, or it's not factorable, but you've probably done something wrong. Okay. All right, so now our next step is we're going to get down one more level today, okay? And that is we're going to put together our 2 outside numbers, and that's going to become one of our factors. So the 2 outside is 2x plus 3, okay? So literally just putting together the green guys, 2x plus 3, and then we're just going to write down one pink guy, okay? So 2x plus 7. Okay, and that is going to be our answer for right now. Okay? So again, put the green guys together, write down one of the 2 pink guys. Again, they should be the same. Okay? All right, now with this being said, think about this for a second. Okay? You don't necessarily need to write all this, just watch. This is the problem. This is the exact same type of problem as on your last test. What did you guys do? We foiled, right? So, like I said, you don't have to write all this down if you just pay attention and kind of look up here. You FOIL this, and you're going to get 4x squared plus 14x plus 6x plus 21, right? Now, on the test, what did I make you do with the middle here? Combine them together to get a trinomial, right? 3 parts? Okay. But let's backtrack for a second. Look at this guy and look at this guy. It's the same thing, isn't it? Okay?
So that's how you can check it?
Yes, you can check to make sure you always get these right, okay? And we're going to get there as we start practicing more and more and more. It'll all come together. But right now, so instead of them giving you 4x squared plus 20x plus 21 and asking you to factor this out, they're baby stepping you through it and they're giving you the step before. So we're factoring this guy. We're eventually going to start factoring this guy next week, okay? So we're going to get there, okay? So right now, they've got you here. So what is factoring? You are undoing FOIL. It's the opposite of FOIL, okay? So I am now giving you the answer to on our last test, and you're going to come up with what should you have FOILed out. Does that make sense? So we're reversing the order now. We're going to come up with the problem, the original problem, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So now let's go to number 9. Okay, now what did I say our first step was if there's no GCF? Group them. Okay, so is there a GCF with 2s and 7s? No. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and group. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and don't ever rewrite, don't change things around, just group. Okay, don't get fancy. Alright, so out of this first grouping, Emma, what can come out of this first grouping here? What's your GCF? Is there a 2 and a 7, any number there? Okay, do we have any variables that I would say?
X.
X, there we go. Alright, so we're going to pull out an X. Okay, so now if I pull out an X out of this, Emma, what do I have left over on this first part? A 2y, right? The 2 and the y, yeah. Okay. And then what about, Emma, what about that second part here?
7.
Good, 7. Okay. Thoughts on the second guy here?
Or it's prime.
Well, but I can always pull something out.
Well, the negative.
I can, well, okay, first off, are they double negatives?
Yes.
So we can pull a negative what?
1.
Negative 1. You guys can always pull 1. If all else fails, pull 1. Alright? But there's always a number that gets pulled out. Okay? So if I've got a negative 2 and a negative 7, we talked about that usually means we're going to be pulling a negative. Okay? So now if you pull a negative, all that's going to do is flip your signs. So you're going to get 2y plus 7. Okay? So when you pull out a negative or divide by negative, it's just going to flip your signs. Okay, now, double check. Do our insides match?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So then what do we do with these outside numbers? Combine them. James, what will that answer look like?
X minus 1.
Good. And do you know what should be in your second set of parentheses?
1 green.
Huh?
2y plus 7.
2y plus 7. And that's going to be your answer. So if you were to FOIL this out, you would get back to here. Okay, so undoing FOIL. Okay, is there a question on that? All right, let's try again. All right, okay. Step 1, is there a GCF?
Yes.
Yes.
What's a GCF between all 4 terms?
3a. Oh, and, whoops, I was looking at the first group.
Yeah, you're thinking about the first group. So is there a GCF between all 4?
No.
No. Okay, so then we group. All right, go ahead, Ben. So what did you get on that first grouping?
3a.
Okay, so he says he can pull out a 3 and an A, and what did you have left over inside when you did that?
5 minus b.
Okay, good. All right, so let's backtrack. Let's slow down just a second. So he says that I can divide both of these by a 3 and an A. Again, if you need to do that step, that's okay. You don't have to, though. All right, so 3a goes on the outside. We get 5. The a's cancel. Negative drops. 3's cancel. A's cancels, and you have the b left over. Okay, is everybody okay with that so far? Okay, second part. What can we pull out of that second part here?
4.
4. Okay, 420, 4 will come out. And what are we going to have left over when we divide by 4?
B minus 5.
Good, b minus 5.
Wait.
Okay, again, wait 1 second, please. Again, if you need to show that you're dividing by 4 to help you out, go ahead and do that. Okay? Yes, ma'am?
Does it still work if they're flipped?
Okay, so let's talk about that. That's a great question. She says, does it still work if they're flipped? Okay, it's all about signs. Okay? If I look here, I have a positive 5, negative 5. Those are not the same, are they? A negative b and a positive b are not the same. I wouldn't care if it was like x plus 2 and then 2 plus x. You know what I'm saying? They could be flipped, but everything has to match, including signs. We got a sign problem here, don't we? So it's the right numbers, just the signs are off. So how can we fix a sign error? James?
Can you make it a negative? Or
Good.
The outside number's a negative.
Yes, pull a negative instead of a positive number. Okay? Now, I'm always going to change the second guy, just because that's how I was taught. Okay? So, here's a plus 4. Instead of making a plus 4, I'm going to make it a negative 4. Okay? So now if I change that over, so from a negative, and now I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it from a positive to a negative, that's going to change my signs on the inside. So if there's a sign error, just pull a negative instead and flip your signs around. Okay? Now, do our insides match?
Yes.
Yeah, negative b, positive 5, now we're good to go. Okay? So now, what will my answer here look like? Kaylin?
3a minus 4 and 5 minus b.
Okay, yep. And guys, it doesn't matter which inside you write, what order. So if you were to put negative b plus 5, same thing. Okay, order's not important there, as long as you got both parts right. Okay? All right, I want you to take a second and try number 11 on your own now. Let's try number 11 on your own.